So the Jets have a chance this Sunday, all right, to not only get revenge and end the Giants season, but they've got a chance to take over the city. Now, you say revenge for what? This torturous ride began back in 2011, Sal. I mean, it really began the day that I was born as a Jets fan. Be totally honest with you. But the most recent iteration of torture began in 2011 after the New York Jets lost to the Giants. And I'll never forget this for a multitude of reasons. Number one, Victor Cruz. Number two, I was just married. I was in Dallas at my in-laws for the holidays, and I was trying to hide how crazy their new son-in-law is when Victor Cruz danced 99 yards to the house. Listen, you know what it's like to try to conceal how you feel around like your wife who really knows you, or you can't. Imagine just getting married and being in a house, 1,500 miles away from my home, and Victor Cruz did that. From that moment, by the way, the Jets were 8-5 at that point. They were. From that moment, they lost 3 straight games, all right? They have not made the playoffs since. They have had 3 head coaches. They have had 3 general managers. They have had a multitude and litany of failed high draft choices. Zach could be next on that list if he doesn't get it together and finish this year well. This is it. Like, I know it's probably unconventional to lump that game in with this, but you have to. This is about the city. This is about snatching the Giants' soul. This is about ending their season and catapulting you to a place they have not been in as long as anybody in North American team sports.
And if they do win, it's not just about this year. I also think it could be about moving forward, the foundation that's being built here with the Jets this season. Rodgers back or not next year, who knows? But with Zach Wilson maybe having a good year, maybe this is the turnaround, like you said, as opposed to what happened in the Victor Cruz game. The Jets can flip the script and become a team that can be a consistent winner moving forward. Look, I look at it from the Giants' perspective here. They've got to win this football game to make last year feel good, too. Last year was a great season individually, but to follow it up with a disastrous year this year, which it's been to date, you can't have all that happen with Shane and Dable coming into question. I said they had to win last week, and they did. Well, this is another week where you don't want to get beat by your crosstown rival because it's going to end your season if you do. And I do think because the season will be ending here before Halloween, it takes a little bit away from last year. And I know we debated it all week long, who's more pressure on, the Jets or the Giants or the quarterback situation or the head coaches and all that. And we'll get into plenty of that as we go on here today, BT. But this is an enormous game for this rivalry. This is an enormous game for each of these teams. Yeah, the trash talk back and forth, sure. But where the Jets could go, where the Giants were and where they are, both these teams have to win this game, and only one can.
Yeah, this week's been fire. I mean, the emotions are all over the place. Giant fans, obviously doing a great job. Jet fans doing a great job. Now, this is my first Jets-Giants game as a host on The Fan, but I'm from here. So, talking to the street, I was a Jets guy. Only kid on my block who had a Jets jersey. Everybody else was Giant fans. Maybe I should, take it a cue.
You picked the wrong team?
Yeah, I did. I just did.
Nah, but that led to Unkillable, and you wouldn't give that back.
I hear you. Wear the sweatshirt today. It's all good. So that was my decision a long time ago. And, back then, you talk, you smack. Lance Mel, who's number 56, is as good as Lawrence Taylor. Like, I'd fight the good fight. I would try my hardest.
That's like me with Ordonez Jeter.
Yes, very similar. Yeah. Although, to be fair, I think Lance Mel was maybe a little bit of a better linebacker than Roy
I never even heard of the
guy.
Ordonez is the best defensive player ever.
I meant as a hitter. But no, listen, this is what we do. We take our lines of fandom and we circle and we carve out a little territoriality and we just fight and we just argue and we debate and we hope and we cheer and we root. And this year, it feels different. And it feels different for some of the reasons I laid out. This really could be the final stake in the heart for the Giants. Now, it could also be...
Well, it will be this year.
Well, that's what I'm saying, this year. If the Jets win, Giants are done.
Right.
There's nothing to process. I don't think there's anything to really interpret or debate. Jets win, Giants done. Giants win... Oh, boy. I mean, the Jets have a little wiggle room to get off the hook, but not a lot.
But think about it this way.
Means so much this year.
Now, the good thing is we get to play it out. We'll be here Monday at 10 a.m. reacting to this game, and I can't wait all the hype. But think about it this way. If the Giants win, what do you think is the bigger story Monday morning?
If the Giants win, I think it depends how they win.
Well,
if they
just
win,
say the Giants win the game. Giants win, or is it the Jets lost that's the bigger story?
I think it depends how the game goes. If the Giants win because Zach is awful, I think that's probably the story.
See, I think, period, Giants win, Jets loss is the bigger story. Because there are more expectations for this team right now where the Giant fan expects to compete in this game, and maybe some expect to win. I told you I thought the Giants
I think a lot of Giant fans think they're going to win this game.
Yeah, but realistically, they need to win just to extend their season.
Yeah.
So if they lose, their season is over. If they win, it's still okay, yeah, but they still need more. Now, if they beat the Raiders the following week, now the season is on, where even if they lost to the Cowboys after that, you still at 4-6 have a season. Right now, they got to start to get back to even here, and they need to continue on what they did against Washington. But, dude, if the Jets lose this game, they are the story because the Jets are fumbling away a major opportunity here in the AFC, and in particular in their own division.
877-337-6666. BT and Sound on the Fan Football Friday. Good morning, everybody. Of course, we're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest priced on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Good omen. Just drilled a little, crunched up piece of paper. Good omen for the Jets.
Yeah, guy, come on.
As I sank it there. The Jets are going to win this game. The Jets, it's funny. I love it. And it is what it is.
They better win this game.
They're going to. The Jets are coming out. And I'm not going to lie to you. The the Giants' resurgence on defense has given me a little bit of pause. Wink is a stud. I get that. I've got a lot of respect for Tyrod Taylor, a pro's pro, who's doing some things that Daniel Jones wasn't doing before Daniel Jones went down. Saquon's healthy, so that's always an issue. Giants O-line, I won't say it's fully stabilized, but they're piecing some things together. This will not be nearly as easy as I think many Jet fans thought that it would be. But let's not twist this. The Jets are better, and the Jets will win. And that will sound like a Jets home game once they flex on them.
See, that I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the attendance is going to be like. I said before, I think early in the week, 70-30 or 60-40?
I asked, how many, what percentage of Jet fans do you think make it in? And I had in my head slightly more than 20%.
Yeah,
and you said about
30.
22 to 25%.
Yeah, okay, so
then you maybe said even 30%.
Right. But to me, that's not a lot. I mean,
30. It's not bad.
Dude, come on. It's the same stadium. Jets are a better team right now. I mean,
yeah, but
tickets are available.
You can't just steal tickets from Giant fans.
I get it.
Giant fans got to give them up. And the Commanders win. I'll say this.
Yeah.
If the Giants lost that game, it might be 50-50.
That's saying something that's 50-50.
I'm saying if the Giants would have lost the Commanders game.
Because then the Giants season was over anyway.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
See, that's where the Giants are at. They're in their extension of the season. Hey, look, it's a huge game for both, but if you think about the history of the rivalry, I don't go all the way back to the beginning of it, but for me, I can't remember one as big as this. Even the Victor Cruz game going in, that was a big one. This feels different where you're talking about seasons potentially on the line.
Yeah.
I know you're saying that if the Jets lose, their season's not over, and technically it's not, but would you admit that if they lose, the division is over? Bills won again last night.
Barely.
Yeah, but still, they won. They're 5-3. Miami 5-2. Miami's going to win this week. They'll be 6-2.
Sal, I wouldn't. I really, and I don't even want to get too far off the course with that. To answer you, I would not, because I think they could beat the Bills upstate. I think they could split with the Dolphins. I actually expect them to, and they've got a lot of games I think that they'll win. Listen, is it complicated? Sure. Yes, but do I think they can still do it? I think puncher's chance, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think they can win it anyway, so if they lost to the Giants, And that's the other thing. Losing to the Giants, okay, you beat the Eagles. Now, to make that steal of a game stick, you better win this game that you're supposed to win. Like I said, we broke it down many different angles here. From the Giants' perspective, I'm not going to say obviously fire Shane and Dable. That would be foolish, and I thought they showed me a lot last week by winning. But if they lose this game, I think that's a mark against them. There's no question. Yeah, they're underdogs here at home, sure. I think that's bad enough. Mm-hmm. And they're obviously up against it with some of the injuries here. Hey, Jets have injuries too. Giants need to show something this weekend.
Listen, how many times, and you know that I don't tap into this, and we'll start banging these calls in. Jet fans, Giant fans, let's go. Going to be a fun day. Talk that smack. Flex a little bit, 877-337-6666. How many times, even though I don't feed into this much, but as a point of reference, have the Jets bagged a big win and they followed up with a letdown? How many times have the Jets had a bye and they come out and they look completely ill-prepared? How many times have the Giants looked as vulnerable as they have so far this year going into a Jets-Giants game? Not much. So or not many times, there's a lot of forces of nature here. And, I just wish it was Sunday. I really believe the Jets are better. I really believe the Jets will win. But now you got to do it. Enough of the talking. You got to win. All right, 877-337-6666. Rob is in Tom's River on the fan with BT and Sal. What's going on, Robbie?
Hey, BT. I totally agree with you. I do think the Jets are a better team. As a Jet fan and a longtime Jet fan, just like yourself, I have one fear: the Victor Cruz play. And the Giants just sticking it to the Jet fans, and I don't want to get overconfident here. I think the Jets have a great chance to win, and you're right. Zach's the difference there. But I just can't stand it if the Giants win this game. It'll just kill me.
They're never going to let us live it down.
Never.
They're never going to. This one's going to stick, Robbie. Appreciate the call. They will, and rightfully so. They will hold up.
Especially you.
Why me?
Because you're the biggest voice for the Jets here all year long.
You're the one who started the issue with Banks. What do you mean? We're on the same page here, buddy. What do you mean?
I don't know who I'm rooting for this weekend anymore. No, but come on. You've been front and center here with the Jets.
No, I get it.
Giant fans are going to be coming after you Monday morning. You know that.
I got a text, right? I got a text from my buddy from college. Years ago, played ball with him, lived with him. Just a good buddy. And this was like 5 days ago. And it was so personal. Like, he wrote, I felt like he was a mortal enemy. I wrote back, bleep you. I'm going to show you the text.
About the Giants and Jets?
The way he came at me.
And you wrote back.
Well, of course. What am I going to say? Well, we'll see who wins, buddy. Hopefully I'll let the best. I mean, he came hard. That's my boy. I mean, he's like, you guys suck. We own you. Little boy, little brother, you're going down. Bleep you. I mean, F-bombs flying. Like, for 20 seconds, I was legitimately mad. So the emotions, this one feels different. Andrew's out in Bay Ridge. What's going on, Andrew? How are you today?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
So before the Jets point, I just want to clarify something. I called you guys a couple days ago, and I said dancing on graves, and it was the wrong analogy. You guys always talk about your fathers, and I think we're all similar age, have similar kind of upbringing, and it's when somebody I can outline some flaws in him, but if I hear somebody else say it, it's a war, right? So it's something. Yeah. It's more like that. When I hear you guys dropping truth bombs, it hurts more. So that's really what I was getting at.
Okay, I got you.
Understood. We respect that.
As far as the Jets go, from what you being the voice of them here on WFAN, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how on earth you could think there's more pressure on the Giants. You're talking about like taking vacation if they lose and not coming in. So I just don't know. I don't see that at all.
Okay,
like,
no, Andrew, I got you. Let me explain it in a non-football term. Okay, let's say you're in Bay Ridge. So let's say I'm trying to think of somewhere where there's not a gas station with great frequency. I don't know, you're going up to Bear Mountain. You're on the Palisades, and I think it's like exit 6. There used to be one, or there is one. But you're running out of gas. And you've got, 19 miles to your destination, and you've got 18.9 miles worth of gas in the tank. You don't have much margin for error. That's the Giants right now. Because if you lose, you're out of gas. And whereas with the Jets, I'm not saying they got a full tank, but if they're making that same 19-mile excursion and they've got 23 miles to go, they're getting there, which means if the Jets lose, they can still recover. If the Giants lose, they cannot.
Well, I mean, I guess I understand as far as, like, mathematics go.
Okay.
But, like, a couple of days ago, a caller was saying, like, over and over again, the Jets don't win a big game. Like, this is bigger than, say, standings or bigger than, this is, like, rivalry sort of thing. I understand it's not the same as like the Patriots, but like you said, taking over New York.
No, this is a big game. This is a huge game for the Jets.
This is huge for the Jets.
I'm with you, Andrew. I think the pressure's got to be on the Jets here because they are expected to win because they have more to lose. The Giants' season is already by almost all accounts lost. Like, I know they're not going to say that, but the reality is they put themselves in a position where their season is essentially, they're 2-5. They're in last place, even against the team that they just beat last week. They're still behind it. So the Giants are up against it. Their season's basically lost already. The Jets have more to lose. than the Giants do. At least that's the way I see it this weekend.
I mean, the one thing that I found a little confusing here, and I understand when you have 4 Lombardis and, more prominent players in franchise history, and like the Yankees, you're woven into the fabric of the town, a platinum franchise, though they've lost their way a little bit the last 12, 15 years, the Giants, but we know what they represent historically. I minimizing this game for the Giants, to me, is comical. Like last year was a cute little story. Fantastic. You won 9 times. You beat up on bad teams. You got a little lucky. You executed. Please hear me. I'm giving you that respect. Your coach was amazing. Your quarterback showed growth we didn't know that he was capable of showing. Fantastic. If this season collapses into 3-14 or 4-13, it's a one-off. It's an outlier, which means the 10 previous seasons before that really represent who the Giants are more than last year. So while listen, we know the Jets' history. It's brutal. It's awful. I own it. I got it. But let's not make this out to be, well, the big bad Giants have been so great for so long. If they fall short this year, it doesn't matter. It does.
But don't you think they've already fallen short?
Yes, but if they...
That's the point.
Yeah,
it's already happened.
Well, but there's no finality to it yet. They've fallen short thus far. But if they beat the Jets and they beat the Raiders and they win their back, if they lose, they're done.
Let's say they beat the Jets. Do you think they're going to beat the Raiders?
I think they got a good chance to beat the Raiders.
You think? But at some point...
they'll probably lose to Dallas. Yeah. Can they beat the Commanders again? Sure.
I mean, at some point, it's coming to an end.
Can they beat the Packers? Yeah. Can they beat the Patriots? Sure. I don't know that it's coming to an end. I want to make sure that the Jets put it to an end.
You don't think you think it's going to end this week, but I'm just saying, come on, realistically. And I'm rooting for the Giants to do this. I want to see them get back in things here and have a season, but I already feel like it's lost. They got spanked by the Cowboys. They've been largely non-competitive in the majority of their games, embarrassed Monday night against the Seahawks at home. All right. And even in the win last week, and I thought they would win the game, and I was all for them and behind them, I wasn't impressed with what I saw. They left a lot on the table. As they said in their own words, it should have been better. Now, they got the win, but ultimately, if I criticize the Jets, even in a win against the Eagles, I mean, the Giants beat Washington, but they barely hung on in a game that they should have won probably 30-7.
They should have. Barkley fumbled. Thibodeau could have had a pick 6. Right. I mean, other things that went awry a little bit. No, I understand, but I don't. To me,
I feel like it's lost already because we know what the Giants are. Now, I think they're better than the worst team in the league.
So do I.
But they're not a playoff team.
I think they've escaped that. There was, for a month, I really thought they may have been the absolute worst team in football. I don't feel that way, which is why, deep down, I know the Jets are going to do dogfight. I know. I mean, it hasn't, and I don't think I'm a prisoner of the moment. I don't. It's never felt this big, this game.
Well, if you lose this one from a Jets perspective, I mean, I know that Rodgers isn't there, and if he was, totally different story, obviously.
Sure.
Then you expect a blowout and really cement your place in this town, at least right now. Mm-hmm. But even without that, the way the Giants have been down, the way the Jets are on the rise a little bit, Jets have more talent, Jets are the favorite here. In Giant Stadium.
No, it's not Giant Stadium.
MetLife Stadium.
Tiki used to do that. MetLife.
A home game for the Giants. They're favored that, this is a game you got to win.
I agree.
If they don't, the Giant fan is just going to be like, Jets.
Let me tell you something right now. If the Jets don't win and the Jets play poorly, even if they lose and play decent and the aesthetics, I'm going to absolutely annihilate them on Monday.
Yeah, I know.
They must win this game. 877-337-6666. It is BT and Sal on a Football Friday on the Fan. All right, listen, you know what's on the menu today? A lot of strutting, a little poking, a little prodding, maybe a little cajoling for some of you that don't believe in the Jets if you're a Jets fan, or you need a little extra push, a little incentive to say if you're a Giants fan, maybe they could string something together. This just feels different. It feels bigger than any Jets-Giants game that I can, certainly going back to the Cruise game, that's for sure, and not many beyond that or before that. And really, in this city, it feels like the biggest event we've had encompassing all the sports in a long time. And it's awesome. Let's go. BT and Sal on the Fan.